Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
3, 2, 1. Yo, what up, guy, and welcome back. Yeah, I want to try something new. Want to watch some gameplay or videos about games that are coming out and react to it. So today it is No Rest for the Wicked. It seems like an action RPG, but in a Souls-like manner. So let's check it out together.
So what is No Rest for the Wicked all about? Well, when you start the game, you're going to be either choosing through a preset or customizing your character. Now, you might first notice that this character has not skipped any arm days. That is actually part of the art style of the game, which looks pretty good when you get into it. So I'm going to make a character, get past the initial cutscene, and I'll show you what happens. So at the start of the game, you wash up on the beach, basically an exile with just you and your fist, and you will see some crabs, etc., which teach you regularly how to do your combat.
So the visuals so far are kind of interesting. I like it. It looks very almost hand-drawn. I like that style for sure.
Currently using the controller, so it's just X, basic attack. So parry in the game, so I can click the left trigger in order to do a parry. You're going to notice there's a stamina bar. As I do my attacks, I'm running out of stamina. This is where the roguelike aspect of the game comes into play. And once you look in your inventory and start picking up loot, you're going to realize that down here there's fast, normal, and like a heavy loadout, which means you're going to start experiencing slower rows and dodges. Right now, I am on light, so my dodges are...
That's typical Souls-like. I played a couple of Souls-likes, not so many, but Elden Ring is one that I played a lot.
You know, very fast, almost instantaneous, and carry a lot of the ground, but much like in Elden Ring, as you start to become heavier, your rows are going to slow down there. So this is where you start to realize it pairs both ARPG mechanics of the isometric camera top-down style and some of the loot as we talk about and get into that, but also pairs it with the Souls-like portion of using stamina and even the leveling system. As you level, there is going to be, as I move my camera here, there's going to be health, stamina, strength.
Yeah, let us see here. We have health, stamina, focus, and the typical stuff, strength, dexterity, intelligence. So I guess you can go in this direction. Plus, it seems really, I wouldn't say copied, but very heavily inspired by Souls-like games.
Dexterity, etc. And of course, there are weapons that scale with these different stats, and stamina will increase your green bar there, for instance, like it would in Breath of the Wild, for instance. Then you have health, strength for the bigger weapons, etc. Now, there are a variety of weapons, and in order to show you that, I'm going to need to log into my other character. And one cool thing about it is with your character, you can actually log on to the different instances or realms, as they call them, the different worlds. So this is the world I was just in with the character I was just showing you. You can even see here this guy still hasn't been talked to, but this is the character I've been working on all day. So there is a variety of weapons. I currently have flaming daggers, which I think are pretty cool, but I also have like a cursed weapon, which gives me both a bonus as well as a negative bonus, for instance. So there's 3 types of weapon. Or 4 types, actually. There's the basic type of weapon, which can be upgraded through a blacksmith that just has standard stats. Then there's the blue type of weapon, which is basically a weapon that has a bonus effect. For instance, this one gains extra heat damage. There's the purple weapon, which has both it's a cursed weapon, which has both bonuses as well as a negative effect. And then there's the red.
I have to say that's interesting with the negative side of things. Usually we don't have games that have something like that. So that's really interesting.
Unique weapons, which are sort of handcrafted weapons by the devs themselves, like you would a legendary item that is a cornerstone type of item. Now, my favorite thing about the weapons is the way it changes your combat style, so I want to show you here. So I'm fighting with the daggers, and obviously this is a stabby, fairly quick style. But if I swap to my staff, the weight class changes as well, which changes the style of roll I have because of the weight class. So now I have this slower roll, and I have more of a bigger, thicker style of attack. If I go...
The question is, does it really affect the loadout? So the staff is heavier than the daggers. That's why he is rolling like that, or is it dependent on the weapon? But I guess you can see here already he is now in the normal range of the weight. So I guess that this could be more about the loadout than the weapon in general.
In here to my inventory and then pick up like a claymore, for instance, and we use that, you're going to notice it's an even bigger style of slash as well. And there's combos associated with how I'm going to press my buttons. And then there is focus in the game, which let me show you how that works. Okay, here's like one of the first combat areas. You can actually sneak up with people. If you click on the left stick, you can sneak up and do like a killing blow, for instance, like this, which is a cool addition if you like the sneak style of gameplay. And you can also parry. So if right as he hits me, I do a good parry, I'm going to get a parry animation, and then that will give me an opening to attack with the damage from the parry to straight up kill them there. Here's another instance of combat. So what I want to show you is focus is this orange bar that is going to build up that I can use to expend. Now, if you look up to the top left, you can see that orange bar. The white bar up there is my experience. The red one is obviously my health, and the orange one is my focus. So I can use focus to use my special abilities. Depending upon which weapon I'm having, it's going to change what the ability does. So you just saw me use the two-handed variant of the ability there. But if I have my staff, for instance, I put my staff back on, what my focus actually does is have me cast spells. So I can even teleport in with one of them, for instance, maybe dodge back out, wait a bit for my stamina, which is that green bar there, go back in, and of course, shields are going to have their own styles that you have to deal with. And now,
to be honest, that's cool. Like, it is really like Elden Ring that the weapons have some attacks, and that kind of makes it really interesting to find different weapons and try them out. Not only just, I want to be a staff wielder, but maybe this one staff has a cool effect or attack. Nice.
I can use like a casting a mage ability there, for instance. So there's a good variety in terms of the combat, but the combat's actually decently difficult. So this is just the guys right here in the start. And I'm already leveled up on this character with gear, etc. So you can kind of see that it's not entirely free, although I do quite like the daggers more than anything here. And this is the other cool part about this. I could get behind him here with the daggers, and I could do a behind the head type of attack. So there is a good variety I've noticed in terms of combat. There's a parry again. I just killed him straight up with the parry damage. Another thing about this is how in-depth the world is. So the world that I've discovered just during the demo is this portion right here. But every little inch of this is fully filled out with secrets, with areas to run, with things to discover. So if you...
Yeah, I watched another video about the showcase here, and what is really said, you can go really different ways and find different encounters, different items. So there is no straight way like usually in those games. There's really like you can go left, right, or center and experience a different type of level kind of for yourself than maybe a friend of yours.
I look through here, you can kind of see, just this is a good example of the depth. There's a chest down there that I could get to if I could figure out how. And all of the things I'm seeing down there I could go to. So there's like a ladder here. I could go down this ladder, which brings me to another area. There's the chest where I could get the loot from it. And then I could drop down again if I wanted down there, although there is fall damage in the game, so I'm going to be kind of careful. There is secret areas that you can unlock. And for instance, like I got a key and opened a door to get somewhere. Here's another example of one. I could go down with this lever here, go up or down, depending upon where the elevator is positioned. This one's going to take me up here.
That's going to be a lot of running around and not missing out. So it's cool because you can always show something new on a shortcut or something like that. And on the other side, it's like, oh, I forgot. I have to go back to the beginning because there was a way left or something.
And then I could climb up here, go around this way, jump across, climb up here, and then find the secrets that are up here. I've already cleared out this map, so I'm just kind of showing you how the world is laid out. It has verticality to it. So it's not just a flat map layer that you might be used to as an ARPG enjoyer. This is actually made by Moon Studios, the people who do Ori and the Blind Forest. So this is almost Metro.
I never played the game, but I heard only good things about it. So was even recommended to me. So I guess they know what they're doing.
Metroidvania platformer style of game, but with sort of ARPG mechanics and camera style, as well as having the Souls-like gameplay. So I've been trying to figure out how to get over here, for instance, to fight these guys, because there's a chest over there. And if I just jump off here, I die. But while I was up here, I discovered the variety of paths there are. Like I could go up here, can come back down here, jump back down. There's this bridge that goes that way. You can see where I'm at on the map right there. This would take me back down over there to the campfire down there if I wanted to go. If I take this way, this actually takes me overhead to where the boss is just to the right down there. But I could go up here this way, and there was guys to fight up here, and I can see across that there's like a town that way, for instance, that I got to figure out how to get to. And I can also go to the lower levels of this too. So I just think that the way that the map is sort of laid out is actually pretty unique and pretty cool.
I think that people that start playing this game and come from, let's say, Diablo or Last Epoch and all the other ARPGs have to get used to look into the depth, into the 3D-ness of the map to figure out, oh, I can go there. Really?
You can also climb, so when you see vines, etc., that means you can typically climb something. So I didn't even discover this back portion until after I'd already defeated the boss around here. And then there was a guy here I fought with a chest and all that, and I can kind of continue this way if I want. And there was more goodies here, and this whole area was kind of set up for me to discover before I fight the boss, so that way I can make potions and get healing supplies and all that. And then it loops me right back around and drops me over here towards where the boss would have been, right up here. And I'm going to show you the boss fight, and we're going to talk about bosses in just a moment here. But the map layout rewards discoverability, and there's also shortcuts that you unlock that as you go back will make you going back and forth through areas you've already traversed significantly easier, like shortcut unlocks, basically. So I found that to be a rather appealing way of replaying sort of the same area when you get an unlock or a key or something like that. Okay, let's talk about the boss fights now as I show some of the footage. So the boss fights feel like the most Souls-like part of the game to me. I mean, the combat obviously is derived from games like of that nature. So you're basically going to be using iframes of dodging, rolling, avoiding the abilities, attacking during his downtimes, and memorizing sort of the attack patterns and what the moves are going to be. It took me a bunch of tries to beat, even though it's the tutorial boss, and you absolutely could get levels and become stronger in order to go back and kill these bosses significantly easier if you're struggling. For instance, you could go farm a bit of levels, etc., especially with the way the realm system is. You can bring your character into a new realm, so if you really get stuck on something,
I have to say, for now, the arena looks pretty small compared to Souls-like games in general. But maybe in Elden Ring, some catacombs were also pretty small. But it is enough for the, I'd say, for the top-down view, right? So I guess there will be maybe bigger ones, maybe even some with some I could guess with some maybe traps or something like that. We'll see.
I suppose you could farm other campaign playthroughs to make your character strong enough to go back to your main one to progress if that really became an issue. But it doesn't seem like it. It seems like the boss fights are mostly fair, Souls-like style of gameplay, combat, and also just fairly enjoyable and thematically on.
I just wonder, you see the yellow sword there on the right, left corner, I guess. Right hand corner, sorry. Doesn't mean your weapons can be destroyed or maybe damaged. That would be also more into the ARPG side, I guess.
It's what you would expect. Very standard boss. You got a sword, he's waving it around, trying to hit you. Halfway, he enrages. There now is poison mechanics, avoid the jump, dash around, and you can actually stagger him if you attack him quick enough in succession, etc. The boss fights, for me, were pretty much a thumb up. I thought it was enjoyable, and I'm sure it will get better as the game progresses, as that was sort of the tutorial boss fight. Now, some things you might not like about the game would be like mob density. For instance, if you are ARPG Blaster, this is not a game where you have a million dudes to chew through. This is where there's 2 or 3 guys up ahead that give you a headache for like 15 minutes. That's the type of game this is. So do not expect to just be slaughtering dozens of minions. This is way closer to Elden Ring than it is to Path of Exile, for instance. I also acknowledge that while I like the art style, it could be divisive. Some of you might not like the style of art. You might not like the verticality of it. You might not be a Metroidvania or platformer type of enjoyer. And in that case, this game probably is not for you. I myself don't really enjoy stamina systems that much. So if I'm going to say something that I don't like about it, the fact that both dodging as well as attacking and all of that is linked to a stamina system is a little frustrating to me because it makes me want to put points in the...
Yeah, well, with the dodging and the stamina, okay, attack and dodging together in stamina is maybe strange, but like in Diablo, you have the dodge mechanic and it's on cooldown, so it's kind of like not the same, but it has the same emphasis on it. So you can't use it or spam it all the time. You have a little bit of possibilities to dodge, and then you're out of it. So you have to manage that. But I guess, of course, you can probably, level that up not only with points, but maybe with items, flasks. I don't know.
Stamina, which means I'm weak, etc. I know this is the way Souls-like games go, but I told you I would say the things I find myself not enjoying about the game, and stamina is one of them. So you might be wondering, who's going to enjoy this game? Who's this game for? I think this is a mix of top-down camera style of ARPGs, maybe some itemization familiarities, but really after that, that's sort of where the familiarities, if you're like a Path of Exile or Diablo player, really ends. It doesn't have too much more in common with that. It does seem to be derived almost from a platformer style of world design with the fighting style of like Elden Ring. You know, it's a style of game, and then they tried to have the camera angle and more of the feel of the top-down feel of the ARPG with the isometric camera, etc. I think the game is something that people that enjoy maybe harder style games will enjoy. It's definitely not like a super easy game, I would say, but it's not hard enough that you're really going to freak out about it. I think it'd be well suited to something like the Steam Deck. I think it's going to be great for a first couple playthroughs. I don't know if this is something that...
But that sounds good. I mean, you don't want a game to be super frustrating, and you don't want to have a game that's too easy. And I guess that they have to find a balance, right? Because it's a new style of game, and some people will maybe be a little bit scared of it and don't want to play it when they hear it's hard. And on the other side, you don't want to end it up like, you know, some well-known ARPGs.
You're going to spend thousands of hours of playing, but it comes out April 18th for early access. For me, I give it a recommend. I think it was pretty fun. Seems like a decent game. I was very impressed with the art style more than anything, and how much they packed into a small world. It felt like as I was going back and forth trying to find the right path to get, to the next area, that I kind of was constantly rediscovering things I didn't see the first time. And I really like it when you have that Metroidvania style of game.
All right. I will wrap it up here. So, in my opinion, this game looks interesting. It looks kind of worthy to play or try it out. What I'm not sure about, and maybe I do another video about it, is the early access, because I am not a big fan of early access. I burnt myself a couple of times, and to be honest, I don't know about you guys, but I did. But what I really liked about the game, and in this case, maybe even the future of the game, another developer tries something new. We had that with Pal World, we had that with Enshrouded, Helldivers, right? All those studios right now trying something new, and I hope that people gonna like it and it gets maybe the traction that it needs to grow, because and maybe even spark a new wave of ARPGs. So that would be great. I have a little bit of a problem with, let's say, with the early access, because you don't know what will come in, like what they put in later. There has to be like a development. But in general, cool game, and I hope it turns out well. Let us see if there are new news. It comes out like fairly in 1.5 months, I guess. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I see you in the next one. Peace out.